In this video, I'll introduce you to new assignment and discussion enhancements in Canvas. So unlike the big change you've probably heard about to quizzing in Canvas, where they're replacing the tool we're used to using with an entirely new quiz engine, these are simply enhancements to the tools we already know and use, and they primarily affect the student's experience. So you probably wouldn't notice a difference as you're setting up your assignments in your course, but your students are going to notice a difference and you might get questions or comments. But the goal of these enhancements is actually to make the student experience a little more intuitive. So I'm going to walk you through it, but remember that you can always use the Student View button in your own course to experience how this works. So I'm going to hop into Student View and I'm actually going to start by showing you what students currently experience. And so now what they do is they click this Start Assignment button, and then they get these options here, depending on what kinds of submissions you indicated in your assignment settings. So this is just kind of what it looks like for students now. And here it is with the new enhancements. So the first thing you'll probably notice up here at the top is this progress icon. And this is going to quickly indicate to students where they are in the process of this assignment. So you can see it says next up, submit assignment. And then we have the instructions and the rubric here, and we can minimize these. And you can see that instead of having to click something to access the submission, it tells students right on this page to choose a submission type. And this is going to vary based, again, on how you set your assignment up. So if you told Canvas you only want to allow file uploads, students would just see this button here. So this is an assignment where I'm going to submit a PowerPoint. So I'm going to click Upload, and then I'm going to click to get my file. And then once it's uploaded, I have the option to submit. Now I get that lovely confetti because I submitted on time. It's going to generate a preview of my submission, and you can see that this status icon updated to show that I have submitted this assignment, and that wasn't as clear in the old view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grade this submission, and then we'll come back and see what that looks like for students. So now my submission has been graded. You can see this progress icon has updated to tell me that my next step is to review the feedback from my instructor. And this feedback automatically appears here the first time I open this assignment after I've been given that feedback, and I can close it or I can access it again from this button. But this is key with the enhancements, is that the rubric used for grading is now visible right here on this assignment page. It used to be a little harder for students to find and view, and if you use rubrics for grading in Canvas, which is highly recommended, not just for objectivity in grading, but also for your own efficiency. It's just a few clicks, and you can assign the students the score based on the rubric, and then they can come in here and easily review where they lost points and where they earned points on the submission. So this is a great enhancement for students. And before I move on to discussions, there's one more thing I want to show you. And that's actually an update to assignments that was made a few months ago. You may or may not have noticed that we have a brand new submission type. So what this is you can upload a file, and then students will annotate that file as their submission to the assignment, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and see how that looks from the student perspective. So you can see I have my enhancements here. We have the instructions, kind of telling students what to do for their annotation. And then down here, we have these tools that you and I are used to using in SpeedGrader are now accessible to students in this submission type. So my instructions say to circle things, so I can just grab a pen and start circling. It tells me to highlight things, so I can highlight things and then add comments as the instructions tell me. So this is a really neat assignment type that you can now give to your students with any file of your choosing. There are file type limitations, but they cover most of the things we use here at UNCG, such as Word documents, PDFs, PowerPoints, spreadsheets, all of those kind of standard file types are usable with this. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to your ITC, but I just wanted to make sure to let you know about this great new feature before I moved on to the discussions. All right, now let's take a look at the enhancements to discussions. But before I get started pointing everything out, I did want to let you know that this will also affect announcements. So once we implement this change in your courses, you'll see that announcements look a little different as well. So the first thing you're probably noticing is that my students are posting anonymously. So this is a new feature with the enhancements that allows you as the instructor to decide, do I just want to have a regular discussion where all names and profile pictures are shown as usual? Do I want to give students the choice to either reveal their name and profile picture or use their anonymous persona in this discussion? Or do I want to make it fully anonymous where no students even have the choice to post as themselves? And for my example, I did choose partially anonymous because this is my class Q&A discussion board where students have the opportunity to ask questions about the content, assignments, all of those good things. And giving them the option to post anonymously might give them that nudge to ask the question they really want to ask. So you can see also this is going to affect all discussions where it no longer shows the posts and then all the replies. So once your discussion got started, you probably noticed that it was a huge wall of text. That will no longer be the case. You actually have to click to access the replies. So this will get longer and longer over here as there become, as more and more replies are added, but they're never going to show here on the page. You have to click to access those. And then just a few other quick things. We have these role tags. So you'll see whenever the teacher replies or the original author of the discussion, they'll have those tags. We have this quote button so we can quote a reply in our reply. And finally, we have mentions. So this is sort of like social media. If you want to tag somebody or mention somebody in your reply, you can hit the @ symbol, start typing somebody in the course's name, and it'll add a tag to your post. And then one last thing over here, which is new, if we're reading through a thread and we find something that's offensive or we just want to report to the teacher, under this 3-dot menu, there's this new reporting option. So when you click that, you are prompted to fill out, just like you would on social media, why you're reporting this post, and the teacher will be alerted. And lastly, some new enhancements at the top here. We can actually search within a discussion now. We can decide if we want to view them all or just the ones we haven't read yet. And we can sort oldest first or newest first. I believe it does default to newest first now. So when you come back to a discussion, you're not going to have to scroll to find where you left off. It'll float those newest ones up to the top, or you can sort if you prefer it the other way. So that's an overview of the new assignment and discussion enhancements. If you need any help or you'd like to do some testing, please feel free to reach out to your school's ITC, or we're always happy to help at 6 Tech.